The last 3 weeks I've done my competent crew, so I'm now useful on a boat. I have done my first aid training and my sea survival courses in London, and on the first day of the 3 weeks I also did my VHF radio course. Well, if you do your Yacht Masters, then there is obviously the obvious careers you can go into are being a yacht master, chartering private boats for people around the world, working on the tall ships as a deckhand or as as an instructor if you choose to take that further qualification.
Let's have a look now at some examples of what cadets are experiencing firsthand as their life's voyage on the sea advances.
Life on the sea and what people can expect is it's a very, very different sort of life. You don't go home every day, but every single day is different. It also depends on what company you're with and what type of work you're doing. My company and my work, every time I come back to sea, there's something different going on. We could be doing some of the surveys, we could be doing a light vessel, we could be doing navigation buoys, we could be doing events for royalty. It depends what's going on at the time, and I think that is one of the best things about this career. You just don't know what's going to happen, and the long trips are quite good sometimes as well, because you're kind of getting away from the rest of the world in your own little bubble.
You're stuck with the same people for 4 months at a time, so it's, as I say, it's not for everybody, but if you get along with the people you're working with, it's good fun. If you don't get along with them, you have to get around it, because, as I say, you are stuck there. You can't get off. You don't go home at 5 o'clock, and it's quite likely you are going to be woken up in the middle of the night and told get out of bed and you've got something to do. So you learn something new every day, every single day. You learn something new, and for those people who want to have that sort of job, it's the best one in the world.
It's completely different to anything else I've ever done. And it's probably completely different to most things that most people will do. It's very unique. You're with a small group of people at sea, but they can be like family at times. You're so close together and you're working so hard together to accomplish the tasks. It's very exciting. You don't know what's going to happen the next day. It's different every day.
So there's a taster of what life on the sea is like. It's quite salty, actually. Now, wouldn't it be handy to have some tips and advice on how to succeed from experienced hands and novices alike?
I think the best piece of advice I could give someone is just be open-minded about it. You'll come across situations that you've never experienced before, perhaps some bad weather when you're sailing and you need to make decisions quickly. But I think you just need to get on with it and do it. And you'll learn a huge amount about yourself doing this kind of course and doing something which is completely different perhaps to what you're already doing. So I think the best advice is really to go for it and just enjoy it as much as possible.
The one bit of advice that would have really helped me when I was first a cadet was, as long as I put the work in, there was no reason to worry. This career will have rewarded me back. Everything's structured there to help you and to give you a fulfilling career, as long as you're prepared to put the work in and the career suits you. I
think to be able to do a Yacht Masters, you need to be fairly independent-minded, and you can't be homesick at all, because you're spending a lot of time at sea and you're a long way from your loved ones as well, your family. You'll see them when you get the chance to see them, but certainly not on a daily basis. And I suppose you just need to be determined and looking to do something different with your life.
Wouldn't it also be helpful to gain some advice from senior members of staff? Especially seeing as they're the one with more nautical experience than you can unfurl a mizzenmast at.
You've got to be committed. I don't say you have to have the sea in your blood, but you have got to really, really want to go to sea. There is quite a high percentage of those who actually start their training who, after the first few weeks, will say, "I'm sorry, it's not for me." If you've got somebody who thinks they want to come to sea because they want to see the world, then the message I have to say to them is, yes, you may see the world, but from the end of a very long jetty. But the fact is, they will work very hard while they're at sea, but at the end of their stint at sea, they will have the opportunity to take leave, and that's the opportunity for them to travel.
The great thing about yachting is that you can do and be whatever you want to be in it. There are lots of choices. But it's a very open market in terms of the actual skills and the backgrounds of the people that are working in it. Because with every yacht you have engineering, you have mariners, you have the professional skippers that sail on it, and therefore you have a real variety of backgrounds and also cultures.
The best way for someone who's interested in a career in the maritime industry is probably to look at the websites. There's a website, Go to Sea website, there's websites you can find through the Chamber of Shipping, and with links to other ones and so forth that give you a pretty good idea. The other way that's extremely useful is all of the maritime colleges in the UK do that, and certainly we do. We have open days. Ours is usually at the end of January, beginning of February, that sort of time. When we do that, all of the major training companies in the UK, the big companies, come down and have stands, and they're available to talk. So, you know, prospective cadets and their parents can come down, they can talk to us, they can have a look around, they can see what we do. We've got demonstrations so they can see what's going on. But crucially as well, they can talk to shipping companies about the opportunities and where they might go. They can talk to cadets and officers too. And that's very useful.
If you're currently bobbing along or even splashing around in search of job satisfaction, there's a swift tide of good information coming in over the starboard bow. Maritime Careers can help those reach the crest of success and sail smoothly into the safe harbour of a great future.
I enjoyed my cadetship very much because of the fact that it was so varied, and you do get to see a lot of different things, not only with the ships, but you meet different types of people, different cultures, see different ways of life, travel obviously, which is a big one for many people. And yeah, basically I enjoyed it very much. I thought it was great.
I think the best thing about my job is this, you know, getting to sail in beautiful weather and beautiful surroundings. And really getting paid to do what I love doing. People say to me now, would you change what you did? Would you change your career and came to do this? And I said, no way. I haven't looked back. The past 6 months have been a huge amount of fun, and I wouldn't change it for the world.
In terms of education, you may be asking yourself what courses are useful to help you enter into a maritime-based career, and what kinds of qualifications are also going to prove useful. Well, avast! Coming up, be a taster of what there is out there. So what do our experts think are the best ways to fast-track your career? What is going to help you get a foot through the porthole and into the maritime industry?
In terms of fast tracking, I think that's a problem because you can't really fast track. There are ways of doing it, but of course training to be an officer at sea is as much about practical experience as it is about academic qualifications. There are ways and means. I mean, you can actually come in with a degree, and particularly with an engineering degree, and actually you could be fast-tracked there, get certain exemptions depending on the engineer degree that you have.
The basic requirements for someone in the Merchant Navy is only mathematical and English GCSEs A to C grade. However, you need certain personality qualities to go to sea. You're going to be on a ship with people for, well, minimum of a week at a time. So you also need your personality qualities. The academic side, as long as you have the minimum requirements and you put the effort in, you can really achieve in this career. It's all about how much you want it and how much you go for it.
For somebody who wants to work in the shipping industry and start that career as a ship's officer, they need to come to somewhere like Warsash or one of 4 colleges in the UK at the moment that are providing this kind of training. And then we will provide them with the necessary academic and safety training in order to qualify for their first certificate of competency. That's very much a partnership with their sponsoring company, in that an integral part of that training is experience at sea. The companies provide that experience.
To reach this level of junior officer, I applied for the job. I had my GCSEs and some A-levels. I then came to the Maritime College where I study an HND in mechanical engineering, and also sit an MNTB workbook which you complete while you're at sea, which all leads towards your all examination with the MCA, and I'll be sitting mine on the 28th of July so not too far to go.